there's this respect they have between Zuma and Zilla,
Correct.
that I think is there. It's like they don't have to be friends. You understand what I'm saying? They are on opposing political parties and opposing political views, but they have a common respect for each other. I think Ubaba sees what I see and you see and others see in her.
Julius Malema as well. It's got respect for him, yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? But she's no longer in charge. John Steenhuisen is in charge. And John Steenhuisen gives me installed vibes.
She's not in charge of what?
The DA.
You believe so?
No, she's not. She doesn't hold the title of being in charge. And even if she was in charge, my thoughts and feelings would be the same.
Okay.
I think they were on a good run. I think they were on the best run when she was in charge. But because she's a woman and she's white, shoot the messenger. No one is trying to hear that shit. No one is actually listening to what she's saying and what she wants to implement because it's her. Do you understand? So there, I believe they lose a lot of points. Now she's in the background in charge, but John is the face. So for most people, John is in charge.
Okay.
Okay, we can have our views on whether we think he's in charge or not. I don't think he's in charge either.
Sure.
I think he's like a plant. He was installed there. I don't think he has a single policy that he's come up with by himself. And right now in the GNU, the final nail in the coffin for me, in the DA's coffin, has been, we were sold a dream of the elections that the GNU is going to be this caucus of accountability.
Yes.
By us co-governing with the ANC, who didn't win in an outright majority, we will be able to put in controls and call them out on certain things. And we will come together and agree on decisions, from the placement of ministers to big policy decisions like the change in the VAT rate or fucking expropriation of land without compensation being put out in a tweet. We'll be there. They have not been there, my friend. Angazi ngokubona kwakho bakhona.
You don't trust them?
No, I don't. Then the other thing is, during this Ukraine war, there's another thing that they did that pissed me off. John Steenhuisen went to Ukraine to sit on his haunches and play with sand. What the fuck was that? Just come home, bruh. Ubuya ufunani lapho. Why? Because they are heavily funded by Western interests. You see, that's a dead giveaway. in
They're
my
pro-Israel and pro-Ukraine.
Heavily funded by Western interests. The Ukraine war, anybody that still believes to this day that that war is anything other than a money laundering expedition is a damn cunt. Fuck Zelensky. That whole thing was just set up so they could launder money. I firmly believe that. They had no business.
Who's laundering?
Who's laundering? The Americans. Americans have sent fucking almost 300 billion that way. And then, like if you go on like Reddit and these other sites and you go and look at like some of the stuff that isn't reported in mainstream media, the amount of weapons that America has sent to Ukraine that are ending up in Africa, that are ending up in Afghanistan.
Our Lord of War, Nicolas Cage. Lord of
Yes.
War. Yeah.
How is that stuff getting there? That's number one. Zelensky's net worth, red flag. His wife and him going shopping, doing Vogue covers, all of this shit. It's all of this stuff that happens around the war. Like outside of the war, that just makes you think, okay, what the fuck is going on here?
Your movements don't make sense
Yes.
for a president
There's
that's in war.
Yeah, there's American senators and politicians, when you hear them speak of the war and how they're encouraging the purchase of weapons and artillery and the funding of Ukraine, they've been very vocal about wanting to support this war where people are dying. Like Trump said, people are dying here, bro. And what is Ukraine really achieving? Russia is essentially, when you fight with your lighties, like my sons, I put them in boxing when they were very young. But when we're playing together, I hold them on their head like this. When you're a lighty, they hold you on your head and then you go,
Shy.
yeah.
Shy.
That's what Russia is doing to Ukraine. Then every now and then Ukraine lands a strike. Then Russia just says, okay, pick up the phone. America, send more weapons, send more money. Why? Because if Russia wanted to really switch it up and escalate, they've got more soldiers, they've got a much better prepared army, they've got more weapons. If they wanted to smite Ukraine, they could. But Putin is purposefully holding back. And if you watch a lot of commentators who just come with common sense and reason, people like Jeffrey Sachs, go and watch what these bullies are saying. These are people that were there from the beginning of this journey in the late 80s. That say, hello, this is a much deeper story. But if we just go from 2014 till now, this is what actually happened and this is why Russia attacked. That version makes more sense to me. The DA completely ignores that version. They throw their whole lot behind Ukraine. Why? Because they have a vested interest somewhere, somehow, which I don't know. Allegedly.